Hello and welcome. Silrace here with Star Citizen, and I wanna talk about the Aurora Cockpit. I just revisited my Aurora LX for the impression video, redone, because the old one was very outdated and all that stuff. So anyway, I wanna talk about Aurora Cockpit. The design of it. Over the years I have done some arm wrestling with people over the design of this thing, just for the amusement of it, at least from my point of view. Some people will take it very seriously and then throw back at me all kinds of very weird arguments which hold no water, whatever. Or then they just get really bored of it and tell me to not think of it as a, you know, real life thing, to not go all real world on me or them or whatever, simply because this is a video game. It is a video game, but everything we have in this video game, from the ship design to everything else, stems from the real world as we understand it. That's one reason why I always, when I do my ship impression videos, I talk about their real world applications and other things. Because I'm interested in that kind of stuff. I'm an electrician, I am interested in construction, I'm interested in other things of engineering, and I know quite a bit about, well, aeronautical engineering as well. Just from my own curiosity, satisfy my own curiosity on these things. So, I want to talk about the Aurora Cockpit and its design. Firstly, people do tell me that these are supposed to the glass panes. I'm going to call them glass, just so everybody understands what I'm talking about. It's like, it gets the point. That they are diamond laminate, and they are supposed to be sturdier than the rest of the ship, essentially. Because it's diamond laminate and stuff. But from a construction and engineering point of view, that makes no sense whatsoever. Because if it's sturdier than the rest of the ship materials, you would build the entire ship from the stuff. And if it is a cost thing, then why do you add that so much of it down there as well? It's like you wouldn't have this many panels visible here, including the doorways of the Aurora LX, if it really was that cost prohibitive. Anyway, let's set those costs aside and talk about the other things when it comes to construction engineering. Firstly, when it comes to vehicles which move, you typically have a whole lot of laws of how, firstly, they must be constructed, which probably, I don't think RSI went that far and, like, tried to come up with, you know, universal space laws of how their ships need to be constructed. I don't believe they went that far. If they did, I am my deepest apologies if you guys went that far. Thank you for that. Anyway, the thing is though, you cannot have structural weaknesses, or you shouldn't have, because then it's a faulty product if you do. And if you look at the amount of beams here, these vertical and horizontal support beams for these glass panes, if this glass is stronger than the beams supporting them, that is a massive structural hazard. You will need to minimize the structural weaknesses. All these beams would be, well, much smaller, much thinner in size. Not so thin as to, you know, have one of these glass panes completely come off its hinges the moment something impacts on it. Might be a small piece of space rock, but whatever. They would be much smaller. The size and the angling on these support beams here really tell me that they are the ones which are supporting the glass panes. As in, they are the strong arm of this construction. When you crush this headfirst into an asteroid, it would be those glass panes which shatter inwards, while this particular vertical beam here, right in the middle, there in the middle, and this one on top, these would absorb the actual impact, and while they would crumble inwards, they would hold through. Imagine it the other way around. Imagine if these things shattered inwards and the glass panes were left. What would that happen? It would mean you would have completely intact glass pane right from there, like that middle one right there, coming straight at the pilot. That would be one beheated and very likely otherwise mangled pilot. You can't have that happening, right? And also another thing to note about this glass thing, this diamond laminate thing, is that one could argue that this whole cockpit could be made of it without any of these support beams. If you look at the cockpit, how it is done on the Mustang Alpha or any of the Mustang designs, it can very clearly be seen that this stuff can be made into any shape, because that cockpit has almost no support beams of any kind. It has one, and it is round. So it's not like you can't make it into different shapes. Anyway, another thing to note is that diamond is really bad at conducting electricity. It's very good for conducting heat though. But it's not very bad for conducting electricity, which is obviously why it's called laminate, but it's still, you would be harder pressed to get an electric current running through one of these panes. Why would you need that? Go and look up current era, like as we know the world right now, aeronautics. How do they keep windows from freezing over? They have an electric current running in the window. Same thing is with spaceships as well. There is an electric current running inside the glass pane all the time to keep it from freezing over. And that's why, well, diamond laminate, it obviously could have the same electric current, but it would be harder to do than if this was some other material than essentially diamond. Because diamond really conduces electricity badly. So you need some other material in there to keep the electric conductivity going through the entire pane. The diamond, on the other hand, would conduce the heat very well all over the pane. Anyway, I think I'm done here. I think I've thrown out my arguments, and then people can tell me that you're overthinking this. This is a video game. I don't really care. I'm having fun thinking on all of this stuff and talking about it as well. That's why I make these videos. I'm having fun with them. Alright? Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this bit of like information from the mixed from gaming and real world, and the collisions those two can have from time to time. It is always amusing to me, and it doesn't really stop me from enjoying and playing the game, even though it is not realistic, or it might not be realistic. But like I mentioned earlier, I just love looking at it from a realistic point of view and thinking of, okay, how would this work actually? Anyway, thank you very much for watching.